You're listening to Life with Herpes, and this is episode 1. Hi, I'm Alexandra Harbushka, host of this podcast, Life with Herpes. And we're here together. So I'm excited, scared. I look forward to telling you my story. Gosh, I have so much I want to talk to you about. But before I get going, if you just found out you have herpes, you're not alone. I understand what it's like. But I put together an ebook for you. It's the 9 things that will help you through it, right? There are 9 home remedies that I wish I would have known when I was diagnosed with herpes, and I really want you to have it. It's free. Head on over to lifewithherpes.com. It's right there on the homepage. It'll say start here, click there, and go on ahead and download that. I really, really recommend it if you're just finding out you have herpes. With that being said, just finding out you have herpes, I want to share my story. I want to share my story of learning I had herpes. I never will forget where I was going, what I was wearing. It was a Tiffany blue silk dress, darling, by the way, if you're into fashion. It's a beautiful dress. I still have it. I kept it because I thought it'd be important. But anyways, Tiffany blue dress. It was the Friday before 4th of July in 2011. It was hot. I live in San Diego, California. 4th of July can be chilly in San Diego. It was hot, and I got the phone call from my doctor. Now, previous to that, I had gone on vacation with someone I was dating. We were in Palm Springs, and leaving Palm Springs, I went, gosh, I just don't feel right. You know what I mean? Like, we just don't feel right down there in your vagina. And I was like, gosh, I just don't feel right. Well, I have a pap smear on Wednesday or Tuesday, whatever it was. No big deal. I won't go in. I'll just wait till Tuesday or Wednesday, whatever day that was. And as I continue early on in that week, I was like, gosh, it hurt to sit down. It hurt to, like if your thong hit the right, like in the wrong way, which was the right way for it to hurt, it was painful. I ended up wearing maxi dresses. Jeans were painful. I went, gosh, I don't know what's going on. Why am I in so much pain? Thinking it's just a really bad yeast infection. Maybe I had too much sex. Maybe I was in a wet swimsuit. You know what I mean, right? You just kind of go, well, it's not herpes, of course. I go into my doctor again, Tuesday, Wednesday of the week. And she goes, gosh, it doesn't look like herpes, but I'm going to go on ahead and, test it out, do a swab. It doesn't look like it at all. It looks like you just have a really bad yeast infection. I thought, okay, great, no problem. Fast forward to the day in the car when I got the phone call from my doctor, she said, Alexandra, yeah, I could hear it in her voice. Yes, I'm sorry to tell you, but you have herpes. And I said, are you sure? What? How could I have herpes? How could I be a statistic? How could I get it from somebody I knew? How could I get it from somebody that I was dating? All those things went through my head when in my head, I thought you got herpes from one night stands. I thought you got herpes from people who you didn't know. Herpes is from people you didn't trust. Herpes were people that you just don't know and don't trust. The guy I was dating, I trusted him. I went to school with him. I knew him. I knew him really well. And I thought that he would have known that he had herpes or would have told me. And the truth is, I will never know that. And that is, he will only know that truth. I don't know. I don't know if he knew and just didn't tell me, which is a horrible thing to think of. Or did he not know and just did not know? Again, I will never know that answer. But to get back to when I was on the phone with my doctor, I can remember hanging up the phone. I was shaking, shaking so much that I had to pull over the car. Like when you're in that absolute shock, how did this happen to me? How did I get herpes? How am I statistic? I just got STD tested with the herpes test before dating this guy, before sleeping with him. I just got those results back and they were negative. How did this happen? Why did this happen to me? I know how you feel when you're angry, you're pissed off, you're like, I just don't understand. I immediately picked up the phone and called my best friend and told her. And she said, I was shaking, and she said, and luckily she answered, it was a work day. And she goes, Alexandra, as hard as it is for you right now, you're going to have to tell your past partners. Like, as hard as it is for you to say that, you're going to have to go do that right now because you're in utter shock and you're in shock. And so your message will be an utter shock message. The longer you wait, the longer you digest it, the longer it is for you to understand it, the different the message will be. So I was absolutely shocked. I was crying. Life stood still. Like I can just remember being in La Jolla. For those of you, if you know where La Jolla is, I was in La Jolla going, oh my gosh, how, what, how does this change my life? What am I going to do? I'm angry. Nobody's ever going to love me. Nobody's ever going to touch me. I am the scarlet letter. I must have deserved this. You put the guilt. I knew better, but did I know better? How am I ever going to date again? Will anybody love me? Did at the time I didn't know the guy I was dating, did he know? Did he know he had it? I didn't even know that because I hadn't talked to him. Like it was like, did he know? Does he have it? Did I give it to him? All those things. Where did this come from? How did I get it? I can remember asking the doctor, well, would I have had this for a long time? Could it have lied dormant forever? She said, no, yes, it could have, but the fact is the incubation period is usually within a week and a couple days. And, if you started feeling this towards the end of your vacation, it's the guy you're dating. It's the new guy. And I just thought, oh, how did this happen? So I immediately, I was in La Jolla and there was someone I was dating before this current guy. And I was driving. So I decided before heading back to my office, I would stop by his office. Stop by, and I was shaking, like to the point you can't walk, you know what I mean? But you know you have to do this. You know you have to tell this person. And so I walked in to his office where he worked and said, I need to talk to you. Can we go outside? We went outside. I told him. Again, I was shaking. I couldn't stand. I didn't even know. I didn't know. I told him, I said, I have herpes. And I started dating someone new. I think it's from him, but I needed to let you know because I don't know if you have it or you gave it to me or I gave it to you. I don't know. And he, of course, was scared and nervous. But he said to me, Alexandra, are you okay? Like, you don't look okay. Are you okay? Like, you need to sit down. Like, are you okay? It's like, I have to be okay. I think that's what I said. I have to be okay. I'm okay. I will be okay. But I remember him really concerned about my well-being. That was his main concern. And as I continued on with my day, I had to pick up my prescription. I had to go back to the office. I had to call other people. I can remember going back to the office and just sitting at my desk, and I couldn't even sit there. Luckily, it was the Friday before 4th of July, so of course, nobody's really working the Friday before 4th of July. But I couldn't work. I remember sitting on the floor, crying hysterically, going, what am I going to do? How did this happen? What I will never love again. Meaning I will love again, but no one will ever love me. That was my biggest fear. No one will ever love me. I will be the girl with herpes. I am the brunt of the joke. I am the leper. I am the scarlet letter. I am an outcast. I will never be loved. And that was extremely scary to me. I continued on and decided to go back to people I had dated over a couple of years. Again, courtesy. There was no way that they had herpes, but it was a courtesy it was a courtesy, and it was also, I was hoping for those gentlemen that it would be a wake-up call and just say, like, hey, it happened to me, it can happen to you. You don't want this. I don't want this. I have it, and I'm just letting you know. One guy in particular said to me, well, I would never have it because I don't sleep with dirty people, Alexandra. That hurt. That one hurt. He also said, like, yeah, there's no way because I always use a condom. There's no way I'd have it because I always used a condom. And so I don't have it. And it just was like so interesting to hear how one person was like, are you okay? And not be in the defense mode. And another person be like, well, I don't have it. It's you. You obviously slept with dirty people. You have it. I don't have anything to do with it. It's just really interesting. The backlash or basically the fear, how someone digests that fear. Because now when you tell someone, I have herpes, I have slept with you, they go, well, I don't. It's just that, oh my gosh. They're in shock too. I proceeded on with my day. I had to go pick up the prescription. Yeah, that's hard because I don't take prescriptions unless I really need one. Like if I have like a really bad bladder infection, obviously I'm going to take that. If I need an antibiotic for, strep throat, I'm going to take it. But in general, I don't take prescriptions. I'm not on them. So for me to go to the pharmacy and walk up there and, first of all, you go to the one by your house and you're like, do I know anybody? Like, I don't want to know anybody here. Is anybody going to, I remember walking around like, oh, do I see anybody that I know? I was also on my period. Yeah, that came that day too. So on my period, also the doctor, when she called, let me know that I also had a really bad yeast infection and herpes. So I was feeling awesome. Um, Period. Just found out you have herpes and you have one of the worst yeast infections she's ever seen. Winning. um, so when I pick up my prescription, I'm picking up whatever it is for um, a yeast infection, whatever that is. I'm picking up my Backlash for my herpes outbreak, which I'm extremely nervous to do, right? Like have the pharmacist look at me and judge me. He didn't. He didn't care at all. But then, of course, I bought a bottle of wine. I bought peanut-covered M&Ms and a box of tampons because I was ready to just go home and cry. Um, well, I didn't go home. I went over to the guy's house. Um, we had plans that night to go on a date. It was Friday night. Um, so I left the pharmacy with my wine and my tampons and my prescriptions, and my M&Ms. And I went over to his house. He could just tell when I walked in, I was different. I was still shaking. I was drained, right? When you cry, you're physically drained. I'm also drained because my body is in overload of trying to fight infections and it can't. It has two infections going on. Anyways, I walk into his house and he's like, "What's wrong?" And I said, "You need to sit down. We need to talk." And he's like, "What's wrong?" And I said, "I got a phone call from my doctor today telling me that I have herpes." And I said it. I didn't cry. I was straight faced. I had to take all the emotion out of it to get the message out. And we were sitting across, like it was kind of a sofa that is, it's like an L-shaped sofa. So we were kind of sitting on different sofas, looking at each other, not next to each other. And I remember him standing up and going, "Get out of my house. I can't believe you would bring that here, or get out of my house." Um, and so he proceeded to kick me out, telling me that there's no way. I told him that I went to the pharmacy and, said I picked up my bacillus and I picked up my yeast infection and I had my period and I got my tampons. I'm like, it was kind of a funny thing to check out with. Make light laugh. I mean, I had to laugh at it, right? It kind of is. You know how you judge people? Like you see like, oh, that's an interesting purchase. I wonder what you're doing later, right? I was like, it's probably an interesting purchase. And he goes, "Yeah, the pharmacist must have thought you were a slut." Yeah, okay. Um, the interesting is he denied that he had herpes. He's like, "There's no way I have it. There's no way, Alexandra. I like you have to get out of here. There's no way." Um, I proceeded to stand up and take my M&Ms and my wine, go home. But he said, "No, you know what? Why don't you stay? Um, let's go get burritos and call it a Friday night." And still, the fact that he called me a slut rings in my mind. Um, the interesting thing is, too, it took him a while to get tested. This was 4th of July, and I don't think he got tested until August. I remember when he told me, yes, I actually have it. I was up at my aunt's house. I was at a beach party in Newport Beach, and I was on the water, and I got the text message that he said, yes, I have herpes too. So yeah, he had it. And that's where I got it. I know talking about this is hard. There's days still to this day I get pissed off. I think what would have happened had I never dated him. I think what would have happened if I don't know. I don't know. Then I remember that there's no regrets in life. You can't live with regrets. You can't go backwards. You can't erase what happened. And I was supposed to date him, and I was supposed to get herpes. Perhaps this is my gift to you. Perhaps me getting herpes is a gift to help you, to help people share my story, live life, enjoy life. Life goes on. It is not by any means the end of the world. I want to keep this podcast just about what it was like to find out I had herpes, but I can fast forward and tell you that I do love, and I am absolutely loved, and there's the man of my dreams who does not care one bit that I have herpes. It does not even faze him. Life has its interesting twists and turns, and you don't really know what's going to happen tomorrow. You don't know what's going to happen later. You're only guaranteed right this minute. But I want you to know that it's okay. I want you to know you're beautiful, you're loved, you are not a scarlet letter. Yes, I know your story. I know it's rough. I know it hurts. I know it's scary. I know it's like, what the fuck just happened? I know. But it's okay. Because there are so many people that have herpes throughout the world. There are so many people that have it, yet nobody talks about it. And that's why this stigma just sits with us as a scarlet letter. All right. Well, here I am, exposed, naked, raw, sharing my story about getting herpes. I have to say, it feels good to get it out there. It feels good to share this with you. I hope that my story, I hope it will help you if you just found out you have herpes. I know it is the scariest thing, and I hope that this helps you get through it. With that being said, I do have a Facebook group for us that have herpes. And if you're a member of our Life with Herpes community, podcast listener, I would love for you to come over, say hi, join, and just join a community, join a family. So what I want you to do, because it is uber secret, None of your friends, family, you hit like join a group and it goes out to like your friend of a friend who has a cousin, who has an uncle, who knows someone that you went to high school with, who has a baby that plays in the sandbox with somebody, and that mom is going to now know that you have herpes. No. That was a long trail. No, that's not what's going to happen. It is secret. It is private. It is it is because it's so secret. I will send you an email with the information. So what I want you to do is go on over to lifewithherpes.com. That is the website. That's where the show notes are. That's where you can find out more information. But you can go there and hit join the Facebook group. It is on the page. Join it. I will send you the link with the email. Join it. Come over. Say hi. We are here. We're a family, and come say hi. All right, my friend. Thank you for being here. Thank you for listening. I hope that my story helped. And I look forward to seeing you in the next episode.